This is Ellis, and I'm just sipping a cup of Leah's lemonade.
Well, I wish I could give you the tea, but mine's just a little bit tart, and that's why it's called Leah's Lemonade. We are live from the 30th Essence Festival of Culture. My last interview for the day, the one, the only J. Ellis. How you doing, brother?
What's good? What's good? How you doing?
I'm doing good, tired, but it's Essence Fest. It's Black excellence. It's culture. How you feeling about being a part of it this year?
I feel good. I mean, Essence is like home for me. When I was on the game, we always came to Essence. Insecure, we always came to Essence. I got a book that comes out at the end of the month.
July 30th?
July 30th, yeah. So, like, it's crazy to be back here at Essence, like, getting to talk about my book with amazing. I sat next to Roxane Gay, who's, like, a bajillion times New York Times best-selling author, and Natasha, who I've known forever from the Griot and from CNN, and it's just wild to be able to be here and celebrate the 30th too.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, listen, you're the internet's everybody's broke boyfriend that came up, you know what I mean, after Insecure. That's what we love you for. But talk to me about your book. The title is, Does Everyone Have an Imaginary?
Yeah. Did everyone have an imaginary friend?
Or is it just me?
Yeah.
What was your imaginary friend given? Like, what was J. Ellis's imaginary friend like in the 90s?
Yeah,
right?
I actually just bumped into like the dude who was the real like representation of him. It was he looked like Dwayne Wayne. Like, he had the flip glasses. He always rocked like a suspender, but with one strap off. He always had on some J's. He had a box. He always had a fresh box with a high fade. And he was a confidant, he was a friend, he was a sounding board, he saved my life at times. And really, for me, this book is really this whole exploration of like how our imagination, our creativity, and our play leaves us as we get older, right?
Yeah.
Adultification happens, we become adults very, very young, life happens, and we need that. We need imagination, we need creativity, we need play. And this time where I was growing up in the late 80s and early 90s, a very chaotic time, but my dad was also in the Air Force and moved around a bunch. My imaginary friend was there to help me process the world around me as it was changing so quickly, and I couldn't understand up from down or left from right.
Yeah. Well, okay, now, you know, black parents are interested with their children. Some black parents be like, "Child, you ain't got no imaginary friend." Or some of them are like, "Okay, your imaginary friend." Which parents did you have?
Yeah, I tell a story in the book, actually. The first time I said Mikey, my imaginary friend's name, out loud to my parents, both my parents were like, "Hold up, who?
Who?
In this house?
Who in our house?
Where at? Where you at?
Where?
Point him out.
Pull the oil out.
Point him out. Let's go." They made me walk. They walked me around the house looking for him, and then when they realized it was an imaginary friend, they backed up. They were supportive for as long as they could be. I got in a lot of trouble as a kid, but you know, and I used to blame it all on him. You're right. But I definitely feel like my family at large, like, you know, part of what I talk about is the village that raises us, right? I have so many stories in this book from my grandparents, maternal and paternal, my cousins, my aunties, people who raised me when my very, very young parents were working and couldn't afford childcare, and they would send me to go spend summers with my family. And I talk about how like all of these people created just enough space for my imagination to still run, and it kept me out of serious trouble, even though I had brushes with it a few times. Yeah.
And talk to me about the balance of that, because to your point, you know, when we're raising kids and we're trying to matriculate young people through life, talk to me how important it is for you to make sure that like your kids have creativity, don't lose that imagination, because the world is rough, right? And with social media, everybody's thrusted into all this information. So like, how important to you is it with kids as you're raising kids to like make sure that you create that safe space for imagination?
Yeah, it's funny. I don't think about it for just kids anymore. I think about it for adults too. But to your point, I think we got to let our kids be kids, and that doesn't mean that they're going to understand the realities of what it is like to be black in this world and in this country. We are going to teach them those things.
Right.
But I think we also have to find a way to nurture their innocence and their imagination and their creativity and their sense of play, because what we don't realize as adults is like that heals children and protects them from the traumas that are around them, right? These imaginary friends, by the way, imaginary friends aren't just like me seeing someone in front of me. It's if you made a doll or a teddy bear or a pillow talk or a G.I. Joe talk, that is under the broader definition of an imaginary friend as well, right? And those things are often created because you are giving as a child, your brain understands that you need something to fill a space. right? To feel safe, to feel listened to feel in control, to feel fun. Whatever it is, your brain is creating that for that reason. And I think that we have to acknowledge that with children. And then on the other side, as adults, we have to find what that means for us. No adult is gonna walk around with an imaginary friend. But like, you can still nurture your creativity in piano and singing and art and writing and video editing and whatever it may be. You can still find that for yourself because it's healthy, mentally healthy.
Yeah. Oh, this is good. This is going to be a good revelation. So let everybody know the book drops July 30th, where they can go. What else can we see you on? Because you always popping up on something. So, you know, as far as your acting space, I know you're in your author bag right now, and you're going on tour.
I'm going on tour. I'm doing a crazy tour. I'm doing like, I don't know, 14 stops in like 12 or 13 cities or something like that for the first chunk. I'm doing a show with the book in a few cities. So I'll be in New York, I'll be in Philly, DC, Chicago, Tulsa, Houston, LA, Portland, Sacramento. Take a little bit of a break, and then I hit a whole nother like 10 or 12 different cities in the fall. So I'm very excited about that. Please come out. It's gonna be a good time. I have some really amazing guests along the way who are going to be doing some conversations with me. It'll be a lot of fun. Music, it's a whole 90s vibe when you walk in. I got a DJ playing. Like, it should feel like a cookout when you walk in.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, I mean, his fine self going to be there. So the lady's going to be in the room regardless, you know what I'm saying? But he's married. Don't do that. Okay, I had to give the disclaimer. Okay, well, if people want to keep up with you, get more information on the books, see everything you got going on, where can they go to follow you?
Yeah, so I'll give you two places. You can go to www.jellis.com, and everything is there. My socials. She's trying to kick us out.
Right,
She's trying to kick us out.
Turn the lights off.
She's trying to kick us out. And then you can hit my socials at jrellis.com. I'm sorry, JR Ellis.
jrellis.com? jellis.com. Okay, so yes, the lady done told us to get out, and we over here like, hold on. Well, Jay, I thank you for your time. Appreciate you. Support your work and love your work. And lemonade stand, grab a cup, throw it back, and sip on all that before we get kicked the hell out. Okay.